Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, babies in their diapers, welcome to the Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy.
That's me, Tiberius. Today we're going to talk about some very awesome stuff. We have a video about surviving on a raft, a book about a moon dragon, and we have a totally awesome guest. Today we have the one, the only, the amazing Alex Ferrer.
Thank you.
Alex is the owner of Veritas Tactical and is an expert with security, investigations, and tactical operations. You don't want to make this guy mad.
Thank you, Tiberius. Glad to hear. I'm honored to be here. I'm lking forward to the show.
You're welcome. And today we're going to start off with the video of the week, and this is going to be a bite.
And now it's time for the video game of the week.
Today's video game is Raft. This is a game on the Epic Games platform. It was made by Red Beat Interactive. This is a very different kind of game. This is a building game, not a shoot 'em up.
Oh, that's not fun.
First off, I got into the game and it was kind of cool, and I pressed this button called play. And then I got into a raft that had a shark swimming around it. And it looked hungry.
Now that sounds interesting.
I am standing on 2x2 wood raft, and I had a hook in my hand, and I found some supplies that were in the water, littering. So I got the supplies by using my hook and throwing it out and getting some materials. Then I built a lot of stuff, like more planks to build my raft, bigger sails, anchors, and food and water supplies. Oh, and every once in a while, the shark try to eat your raft. You have to build a weapon to stop the shark, or he will eat all of your hard work.
I can think of some weapons to bring on a raft.
You can make a bow and arrow like.
Yeah, there you go.
Also, fun fact: you need other tools to make other stuff. But to make other tools, you need to have a research table. This is cool because you can research all of the objects that you find, and you will learn what you can make with that object. I give Raft 9 out of 10 stars because it was really hard to get mats. If you know what Fortnite is. I think anyone that likes building should play this game.
Oh, try that one out.
Over 40 years, Lighthouse Central Florida has provided education, independent life skills, and job training to thousands of Central Floridians who live with blindness or any degree of vision loss. Whether it's picking out clothes in the morning or just moving around your community and serving Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties. Contact Lighthouse Central Florida at 407-898-2483 or visit them online at lighthousecfl.org.
The Tiberius Show would like to thank one of their dedicated sponsors, Custom Designs Orlando. These guys are on Mills Avenue and do all sorts of stuff, ranging from photo ID badges, engraved signs, custom braille ADA signs, vinyl lettering to trophies and awards. The cool part about Custom Designs is they can ship products all over the United States. You can reach them at 407-898-0373 and tell them that
Tiberius
sent you.
Now it's time for the book of the week, Dragon Master's Power of the Moon Dragon. This book is written by Tracy West. Let me to the back of the book. In fact, Alex, do you want to do the honors?
Sure, why not? Let's give it a try. All right. Dragon Masters. Says the Prime Dragon Stone is in danger. The Dragon Masters could lose their connections to their dragons forever. Hero and other Dragon Masters must follow clues to find the Pyramid of the 7 Dragons. Then they must use their dragon's powers to reach the stone. Will the Dragon Masters get there in time? Sounds really good.
Well, this is an error book. It is worth 1 full point and rated for 3rd grade and 5th month. This is a great series about King Roland and his dragons and the Dragon Masters. I got this book from my school library. There's always a lot of twists and turns in this book series. So this story is about a boy that got taken away to be trained as a Dragon Master. So this is the 6th book, so they already mastered water, light, earth, and fire, and poison. And now we are doing moon. How are they going to do it? So Haru is one of the Dragon Masters that is having a hard time connecting with this dragon. Haru says that they need the Prime Dragon Stone. Not the Dragon Stone, but the Prime one. they're gonna have to explore. So they have to find the pyramid. So they find a pyramid, and then, well, I want you to read the book yourself. So go read the book if you want to see the ending. The ending was amazing. I really enjoyed this book.
Any book about dragons is always going to be good.
Yep. I'll give this book 10 out of 10 stars because it was an amazing book, and I really liked that they had to go into different rooms to do puzzles. I think all 4th graders should read this book. See Tiberius Law.com.
You can call him at 407-801-2667.
Wait, you are not Chuck.
My dad can help when people get hurt. He loves to help.
If you are ever injured at work or in a car accident, you should call my friend Chuck.
You can call him at 407-801-2667.
The website again is cwsmithlaw.com.
Offices, Orlando.
Does it actually have that much W's?
Mid-State Fire has been providing top-quality fire equipment services for 3 generations to the Central Florida area. Don't wait for an emergency to repair. Call Mid-State Fire today at 407-246-8855. Get your fire extinguishers and emergency lighting for both your home and businesses by visiting www.midstatefire.com. That number again is 407-246-8855. And now it's time for our interview of an interesting person. Today's guest is going to be so much fun. Today we have the one, the only, the amazing Alex Ferrer. Alex is the owner of Veritas Tactical and is an acer with security, investigations, and tactical operations.
Thank you for having me. Tiberius is pretty interesting. I say you're the interesting person in the room. How about that?
Thank you. So first off, how are you enjoying being on the show?
So far, so good. This is a really neat setup.
Thank you. Okay, so I have to ask. You've been in law enforcement for 19 years and in private security for 11 years. Which is more fun?
Well, I would say that the law enforcement gave you more fun, pretty much on a regular basis. The security can be fun, too. It's got its moments. But all depends on who your client is.
What got you interested in being in law enforcement?
I've always wanted to be in law enforcement since I was a kid, and I really enjoyed wanting to be a police officer, and it's one of those things where I just really wanted to do it, and then I got the opportunity. I got an offer to join the Orange County Sheriff's Office, and just followed up with it. Really enjoyed it. Things have changed quite a bit, even to from I retired to now, but it still was a lot of fun. I really am thankful for all the experience that I got from it.
Mm-hmm. What stuff did you do in law enforcement?
When I was in the sheriff's office, I did what we call road patrol, which is a typical on the street. I also worked in narcotics section, which I did undercover buys, undercover operations with our local departments, also with some federal departments. So basically attacking the drug problem, some of the vice-related problems, and did that for the last 5 years I was there.
Okay. So what was the best part about being in law enforcement?
The best part was actually, getting in there and actually doing a job and helping people. When you're able to respond to a call and actually help someone with a major life issue or life crisis, and you're able to help them, whether they said thank you or not, but knowing you helped that person, that was always the best part of law enforcement.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So does it take a lot of training to be able to work in law enforcement?
So you have the basic academy, which is roughly about 4 to 5 months. It's changed a little bit now. They've shortened that. But once you got that, you graduated your academy, you went to what we call the week 0, which is about 6 weeks of more training for the department that you're in. You're going over laws, you're going over tactics and all that. And then once you get done with that portion, you go on what's called field training. And for the next 12 weeks, you are assigned to different people who are evaluating you and teaching you. So basically, it's almost pretty close to a year by the time you get done on your own, depends on department and state. But once you get on your own, you continue to train. You continue to go to schools. You continue to learn. They teach you different topics throughout the year that are mandatory by the state. So you're constantly always learning. But just to get out on the road, you're going to be doing at least 8 months or so of training just to get out there.
Okay. So what is the hardest part about being in law enforcement?
I would say that the hardest part is dealing with deaths. And I don't mean just deaths are simple, but having to give that notice to somebody, having to tell someone that their loved one passed away, or having to deal with a death that happened, tragically, and having to tell someone or be there when it happens, and having to, to console that person in a very, very vulnerable moment. So it's one of the most difficult times, I would say, or seeing any type of crime with kids.
Mm-hmm. So what's the most rewarding part about your job?
Rewarding part is kind of a multi-pronged, answer. I would say that rewarding is the friendships and bonds that you make with people, both on the street and within the department. The brotherhood, as you call it, in law enforcement, some of the people that are going to become lifelong friends, that you go out there and you fight side by side every day. And then, of course, you have the parts of what you take out of it, the good that you get out of it. So.
Okay. What's the craziest thing that has happened while you were at work?
I don't know that I can mention some of those on the show. I had some fun while undercover. I would say that the most fun I ever had was, playing. Not playing, but you play a character, you play a role when you're undercover. You're going undercover, and you make a story up to buy something from somebody, or to convince that person that you're a bad person, or that you are into that type of drug or whatever it may be. So I really won't go into some of the stories, but I would say that was the most fun I ever had in my whole time in the sheriff's office.
Okay. Okay, so now you are consulting and even make your own AR-15. Is that hard to do?
So the AR-15, I would call the adult man's Lego, right? It's not as easy as Legos, but pretty close once you get the hang of it. So I was interested in firearms at a very young age, a little younger than you. I was interested in guns, and not only interested in guns, it was taking the guns apart, right? So I had an interest in how to put them together, take them apart. So creating AR-15s kind of gave me that. In the 90s, I started doing that and kind of doing them for myself. And then I decided to do it for, obviously, for others as I was getting requests. So, I'll show you here some of the stuff that we do. And you can see, obviously, it's unloaded. You can see there's nothing in there. But it just creating stuff that we know is one of them is function. It functions for a purpose. It has a purpose for the user, but also we can do different things to them. So we can do Cerakoting, different colors. We can do, obviously the engraving. As you can see, we can do engraving on both sides. All kinds of logos or terms that people may want to put on there. Unit numbers, retired numbers, things like that. But building the AR-15 was a lot of fun. It's something that I've enjoyed, especially building them for people, and usually not the same one, over and over. So we get to build a custom one for most customers. We do a couple of specific ones that are models, but we enjoy doing them. I've had fun building guns for a long time.
How do you assemble them?
Everything starts with a bare receiver at the bottom here and a bare upper. And then we just put the parts in of whatever we want. Just different triggers that you can put in, different magazine releases.
See, that's what I thought. Yeah.
So there's all kinds of parts that you can put on that you can change it up. You can go standard.
Because there's also stuff that you can put in and out.
So this is your cover, your dust cover.
Yeah,
that has to go on there. But you can change the color to this, but for the most part, it's a standard one. The ones you pop out, pins here, you can change your trigger, you can change your mag release, your sights. You can
change your barrel?
Barrel lengths, yeah. There's barrel. This is the shortest barrel that we make. It's a 6-inch or 5-inch barrel, and you can get as long as 20-inch. I got one here. I think that this one came out pretty decent. You tell me. But this is some of the stuff that we do as well. It's not firearms related, but it.
That's so cool.
All right, so we take it and we engrave it, and we put whatever logo you want on there. And this one happens to be the Tiberius Show logo.
Wow.
So that's for you.
Cool.
It gives you an idea of what we can do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
May
You're
I
welcome. My
please
pleasure.
on my desk for eggnog.
So I was trying to decide what color, and since you're such a colorful kid, I had to bring you red.
This is actually one of my favorite colors.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. So, yeah, we can customize. We can do pretty much anything that you want on there. We've done some Captain America guns. We've done some Ninja Turtle guns. We've done some Stars and Stripes. We've done some different variations. So yeah, you think of it, we can actually make it happen.
What was the coolest firearm that you have built?
That's kind of a tough one. Like anything else, when you build or create something, there's several that are favorites. We've done some that are, I can't say who it went to only because we signed an NDA for it, but we've done one for a baseball player that had his baseball team lasered out in the handguard with his number and his World Series championship year. The colors of that team. That was a really, really, really neat build that we really enjoyed. I've done some others as well. It's pretty colorful, but one of the ones that really enjoy lately is one that we do for an American hero, which is Dave Boone Benton, which is one of the guys involved in Benghazi firefight. And we do that for him, and we love building that gun because it means a lot to him, and it has a story behind it.
Okay, so what is your greatest achievement in life?
Wow. Greatest achievement in life, I would say, would be my kids. Really value them. I would say that's the achievement to me that I wouldn't say it's, not something that you go out and you can't do, but the achievement of having my kids and having my family, having my parents, close by. My brothers were a pretty close-knit family, and I feel that's an achievement, being able to stay together and close and not fight every day.
So who helped motivate or inspire you the most in following your dreams?
My father and my grandfather are two heroes in my life because of what they endured to get to this country. My parents, my family came from Cuba. Everything was taken away from them during the revolution in Cuba, and they pretty much left the country with nothing. But having them come to this country and be able to live the American dream, be able to come here with no language, no nothing, and make a life for themselves and for their kids. I learned a lot from my dad and my grandfather. Their hard work, nonstop, never giving up, never complaining for anything, never asking for anything. So anything that I do, I owe to them, including my mother, because they have been some great examples of just hard work and dedication.
Okay. So I saw in your bio that you provide executive and dignitary protection. Can you tell me what that means?
Yeah, so dignitary and executive protection is basically the protection of individuals like executives, CEOs of a company, a chairman or somebody of a business. And dignitary protection is basically someone that is a dignitary to the either U.S. or another nation that comes in and they ask for protection, basically a bodyguard in both realms.
Okay. So is that like the Secret Service or that protects the president?
It's similar. You're protecting a client, so you're protecting that person against whatever dangers or whatever threats they may have, whether it's against a known threat, an unknown threat, or they just want protection because they fear for their life, or because they're a well-off family, or they're in the limelight of media, whatever it may be, and they feel they need protection. So yeah, you're protecting that person against any dangers or threats.
Okay. What advice do you give my listeners if they wanted to grow up and work in law enforcement or in the private sector?
That's a tough question. I get that asked quite a bit, believe it or not. I have friends that want to steer their kids in a certain direction when law enforcement. I think things have changed. Times have changed quite a bit. Obviously, if you pay attention to any type of news going on and the type of stigma that law enforcement has against certain groups and whatnot, I would definitely recommend them to either go state level, federal level. In the private sector, there's a lot more things to do. But if your passion is to help and get into law enforcement, then absolutely do as much as you can to get all the training you can to be able to survive the fights out there. And I mean the fights in the different ways and forms they come.
So I saw that you have a shop. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so I decided to open up a retail shop showroom for our display our weapons, and people can have options and look at when they want something to build. So it's a storefront. We have all our guns displayed there, all the different demos that we have and guns that we build. We also provide handguns for people that want to buy for personal protection or carry. We also carry knives and bags and everything geared towards around everyday carry and personal protection.
Okay, so my dad said you have your own podcast. What is it about?
So we have a podcast that's called the Guardian News Podcast. And I'm very blessed and fortunate to have some really cool guys on there that join me on the podcast. One of them is Dave Boone Benton, again, not local, but a patriotic hero. One of the guys involved in the firefight from Benghazi. Got Israel Matos, a Purple Heart recipient Marine, got blown up in Afghanistan. Has a lot of knowledge and brings a lot to the table when it comes to training and firearms. And then we have Bill Orendorf, which is a retired former law enforcement and also big in the training world with us. And really it was kind of an idea that we had of 4 guys that sit around, talk around lunch and different times that we go out and we talk about gear, we talk about everyday scenarios, we talk about awareness, guns, all kinds of stuff. We figured, well, why don't we put this on a podcast? People would want to know some of this information. So that's kind of how it started, and we started recording, and we're out there. Started doing our second season here recently.
Okay. So if you could go back 10 years and tell yourself something, what would it be?
If I was to go back 10 years, I don't know, not spend so much. No, save more. Invest in Google. Yeah, definitely invest in some of the,
So if you could do any other job that you are not already doing, what would it be?
Oh, that's a tough one. I don't know. It would have to be something involving travel across the world, maybe. And get to travel and see some places while you're working. Do it on someone else's dime.
Mm-hmm. So what was the biggest mistake that you ever made, and how did it change you as a person?
Biggest mistake, wow. One of the biggest mistakes was being angry as a kid, I guess you want to call it. And for no reason, and not knowing why. As we all do it, I think we're at a certain age. We get mad for no reason. And how it changed me is just basically understood because a lot of talks with my mom and my grandmother about, why are you angry? You're missing those minutes and hours that you spend being angry. You've actually just gave that up in your life.
And my bio says that you are an NRA instructor. What is the NRA and how did you construct it?
So the NRA is the National Rifle Association. It's a firearms association, a very pro Second Amendment association. And they give you a certain qualification to teach firearms. And you teach basic firearms, you can teach other instructors, you can teach shotgun, rifle. They have different topics that cover. So having the NRA certification gives you able to teach, for example, a state of Florida concealed carry permit. So I can teach that under my NRA certification. It's not the only one out there. There's several other ones out there as well, but it was one of the most nationally recognized ones.
So when you're not working as a consultant or security expert, what do you do for fun?
For fun, we do, I like to shoot. I'm teaching my son how to go out and shoot and enjoying that. Playing with my kids, fishing whenever I get a chance to fish, doing stuff outside, whenever we can, traveling, beach, spending time with my parents, going to the, believe it or not, livestock auction with my dad. That's always fun.
Huh?
So, yeah.
Well, do you have a website or Facebook for my listeners that want to follow you?
Absolutely. We are on Facebook and Instagram under Veritas Tactical. On the one on Instagram is Veritas_Tactical. Facebook is all one word. Our website, VeritasTactical.com. That's VERITAS Tactical.com. And for those local number, 407-309-3000. 407-309-3000.
Wow. So is there anything I think my listeners should know about you? Well, thank you, Alex, for being my special guest. Can you stick around for Math Corners?
Sure, I guess so. Again, not big on math.
Nah.
The Tiberius Show would like to thank Boggy Creek Airboat Adventures for being one of our sponsors. I got to go on an airboat and saw a real gator. I even got to go to the gem mine and mine for some gems. We ate a steak dinner at the restaurant and even got some Gatorades. If you want to have a blast with the entire family, I suggest you go to www.bcairboats.com right now. Get your tickets today. The website again is bcairboats.com. Oak Ridge Gun Range is a family-oriented shooting range that has been in business for over 30 years. They specialize in basic firearm training and offer numerous services such as consignments, gun trades, gunsmithing, and concealed weapon classes. I even got my training for gun safety at Oak Ridge Gun Range. Great customer service, and firearm safety is what they do best. So find out more at oakridgegunrange.com.
Tiberius' favorite subject, it's Math Corners!
And now it's time for Math Corners. Thank you, Alex, for helping me with Math Corners. Today we're going to talk about word problems with variables.
That doesn't sound fun.
It does. Well, sometimes you have word problems. You can use variables to make it easy, to make the formula, really. A variable is a letter that is used to represent a value that is unknown. Let's say you have 120 musicians and they are playing Beethoven's 9th Symphony. It takes them 40 minutes to play the piece. The question is, how long would it take to play if they only have 60 musicians? Well, first, you could assign variables for the problem. You can assign the letter M for the number of musicians and the T for the amount of time it took to play the 9th Symphony. So, Alex, do you know what the answer is?
Well, it would still be 40 minutes, right?
Yeah,
Right.
you will.
Wow, did I get that right?
Yeah, you did.
Wow.
Well, this question came from my dad.
Can you see the
He
error?
actually gave me trick questions. So I looked into the question deeply and I found a slight flaw. Many would think it would be hatch people that it would take twice the time, but there's another kind of variable, and that is called a constant. This is a variable that does not change. Well, how long it takes to play Beethoven's 9th Symphony is a constant. It does not change the length of the piece, no matter how many people are playing it. So the answer is still 40 minutes.
Wow.
Nice try, Dad.
Did you see the smoke coming out of my ears for that one?
I did. Was there? So, Alex, do you now know all about how using variables in a word problem?
I do now, and I'm going to after you tutor me now.
Well, thank you so much, Alex, for your help with Math Corners.
Thank you. Thank you again.
And now it's time for the Heart of a Lion. As you know, we talk about the qualities of living by a heart of a lion, which stands for leadership, integrity, obedience, and nobility. This week, we're going to talk about integrity. For me, I think integrity is doing what is right even when no one else is looking. The qualities of integrity is honesty, sincerity, truthfulness, and fairness. So this week, I got home right after dinner, and I did my homework before my dad called me to see if I did it. I did it when my mom was not looking and just got it done. I did it with a smile on my face, and my dad was proud of me that I got it done right away. So Alex, did you see or use integrity at all this week?
What's funny is that integrity is probably by far, I think, one of the important ones of these four. Integrity is something that is important to me, and to I think it shows a lot about the person. Obviously, your honesty, your being in integrity towards people, life, everything else. So to me, it's very important. I try to use integrity every day in my life, and teach that to my kids as well.
Mm-hmm. We should always try and be lion strong in everything we do.
Absolutely.
You know me, Alex.
Absolutely.
And that's our show, folks. I want to thank the one, the only, the amazing Alex Ferrer for being on my show.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was an honor, and I really had a lot of fun, and I learned some math.
You're welcome.
Fist bump.
It's been so much fun talking with you today, too. So I hope one day to visit your shop and see all of the cool security tools and firearms that you make.
Come on down.
And be sure to listen to us next week on the Tiberius Show. There's Tiberius! Boy!
The Tiberius Show is not filmed in front of a live studio audience. Executive producer Joseph Boyd. Production editor Pierre Laguerre. Green Room manager Danny Boyd. And your program host, Tiberius Boy. The Tiberius Show is copyright 2018.